Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. Going to do a little chat kind of video today. I want to fill you in on some things. First, my mother's birthday is in a week from when I'm recording this. Her birthday is March 19. This is the year 2022. She will be 99 in 1 week on March 19. She was born in 1923, so I don't know. I don't know if she will see 100. There's a few times where I thought she's not making it to 99. She's declining a little bit, and I will talk about that in a minute. And then the plans, I'm still going ahead with plans of just trying to get her out for her birthday, so we'll talk about that in just a few. What else? Oh, and then I want to talk about how Derek was our hero last night. But first, I just want to talk about my fabric sale for a minute, and let me show you. I never show you guys. I don't know if it's like when I talk about it, if things are set up, but I just had a small sale this weekend because I had a huge one last weekend, and I just wanted to like kind of relax. So these are the orders that I have. I just sorted everything, and then I'm going to start packing some orders. So just let me show you. You guys, it's much later now, and I'm quite tired. And I realized while I was editing that I did indeed give you a tour of this whole office. And I showed you all the packages. Like I said, it's a small sale, so I have 2 tables of packages, all with the invoices facing up. Didn't even think about that. I can't show you that. You can see people's names and addresses. I wouldn't put that out there. And I could not make sense, and I don't even want to do all that editing. There was no way I could edit and have it make sense. So I just had to trash all of that, and I'm so sorry. I will do it again, I promise. I was so happy that I at least showed you one room. I showed you my supply closet, you know, just everything. And I had to just cut it all out because I'm stupid. And now I have all the invoices face down because I was going to try again. I can't. It's getting late. I mean, it's past 7 p.m. I still have a lot of editing to do. And I'm just tired now, and my brain is fried. And anyway, so now it's going to jump back into where? What is it going to jump into? Let me see. Okay, let me show you really quick. I'm going to show you some leftovers. And I'm sure I'll probably, I don't know, I will probably mention the tour you just had. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really am. I wholeheartedly wanted to show you tonight because I'm not usually in the mood to do that. I just feel like it's, I don't know, there's just something weird about it. I don't feel like this is my home. I love it. I feel like I'm living in a hotel or something. So I just don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like this is so temporary. But anyway, I did try and I fucked up. All right, let's just go back to the rest of this video. I need to go to bed. Okay, let me show you really quick. I cut 1,200 5-inch squares, and I made sets of 200 batik 5-inch squares. So this is one set here, and I have one left. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so you get 100 different prints of batiks. And I have the matching selvages on eBay right now, 100 selvages. But if you want to pick this up, you can. I'm hoping, well, I will get it listed. Now that I've said this, I will. So this is what you get right here. 200 5-inch squares, 100 prints. So you get 2 of each print. And then this, I just fell in love with this print, these prints, I should say. Now these are fat quarters that I buy, but then I cut them. So these are fat 8s. Oh, and let me show you what that looks like. When you take a fat quarter, there's a selvage on one end of a fat quarter. You cut it this way in half. And so now you have 2 8s. It's a nice size piece. See? I don't know what I'm showing you or what you're seeing, but that's the size. It's half the width of the fabric and about 9 inches, but these are scrappy. Now, the fat quarters that I get pre-cut from the couple suppliers that I can get that from, they're not generous, and sometimes they're crooked cuts. Sometimes they're off grain. I don't worry so much now if I'm off by a hair, because I buy tons of pre-cuts and they're not perfect. And there's machines doing them, so I'm not gonna freak out. But this is 15 fat eighths. It was called something Impressions. I went with just Impressions because it was a long word. And I'll just flip through really quick. I mean, if you like funky, grunge kind of looking and almost tie-dye kind of looking, it's really cool. All 15 different prints. I'm trying my best. And I sold a bunch of them. I ordered more and I sold some more, but I was hoping that I would have some for eBay because I kind of, don't always have stuff for eBay, sets. I have scraps and stuff, but all right, so I just wanted to show you that. So I have 4 of these, and I have just the one remaining set. I will not be cutting this many 5-inch squares for a while, so grab them while you can. But by buying pre-cuts, I am able to cut bigger varieties. Now I pay more for pre-cuts, but I just think it's worth it to, and I didn't go up on my prices. I just think it's worth it because I can offer my exclusive shoppers more variety, and I'm not handling bolts of fabric that are heavy to handle when they're new, when there's all that fabric, and then I have to store that, all that stuff. So I like it when I get pre-cuts, and then I can easily just press that, cut, and it's just so fun. I love it. All right, I think that's it. My eBay link is in the description. My eBay name is Darlene Michaud, but it's hard to search for somebody, for a seller on eBay. So link is in the description, and you can find it on my blog, darlenemichaud.com. Okay? All right, my mother. I told you a while back, a little while ago, that, well, first of all, before my mother went into a nursing home, she had a fall getting out of bed. She fell on her bum, and it was in the middle of the night. I had to call rescue to put her up, pick her up. And she stopped sleeping in her bed. She never slept in her bed after that. And that was like 5 months-ish. And then she went into a nursing home. And I did have her lift chair in the nursing home, so they would put her in the chair during the day. And then she became a hospice patient, and when we moved here to Mississippi, she was without her lift chair for a month because it didn't come, and then when it did come, she was in the hospital for respite, so I had time to set up. She had a respite for 5 days, or I had respite for 5 days while she was in a hospital, but not in her chair. She hates being in a bed. So when she came here to this apartment, we just had her in her bed, and I would get her up every day, and it was a fucking nightmare every time because it's a lot of work, and she wanted to be up the minute she woke up, and I was like, I need my coffee, So I don't know how come it took a while for us to say, why don't you just sleep in your chair like you were doing? So she did that. And then what happened? Oh yes, so one day I could not get her out of her chair. Could not. So I called hospice to see, what do you want me to do? They always say call them first, so I did. And I figured they would tell me to call rescue or for an assist. But she said no. She says, I'm not far. My mother's nurse at the time. And she says, I will come and we'll see if we can get her up. And I said, okay. And so I knew I had to get her in her bed because I wasn't going to want to bother the nurse, if we could get her in the bed. And I just couldn't imagine how we were going to do that, even to just put her in the wheelchair and then wheel her to the bed. But the nurse came, and I learned so much from them. She was like, move the potty, which is between the bed and her chair, And she said, we're going to just roll the bed right up next to the chair. Dumb me would have never thought of that. So I was like, yes, we can do this. So we rolled the bed right up against the chair. Between the two of us, we got my mother up, and we were able to lift her enough to just, kind of help her sit on the bed, which of course you put low for them to get in. And then when they get out, you put it higher because it makes it easier for them to get out. So we got my mother in the bed, and she was in bed, I think, 2 days. And then we did a few days where I would get her up, put her in a chair, and then back in her bed because she just was very weak, and it was easier to do the morning duties in bed, and then if she felt up to it, I could get her up. But then after a few days of that, she just decided she was going to stay back in her chair all the time, and so that was working out really good. I didn't have to do the whole, moving her. It's a job to get her out of the bed. I wrap her like a cocoon in her sheet and pull and tug and putting her to bed too. It's a lot a lot of physical work to do all that. But so she's been sleeping in her chair now. And she loves to color. It's like an addiction to her, and she's obsessed, and I have a very hard time during the day to say, let's get you up for a little bit to use your legs. I don't want her to lose the ability to stand up and to take a few steps. It's important because she needs to take a few steps, and then I put the potty chair behind her, and then I move it, and then she needs to be able to take a few steps back. And last night she could not do it. She could not do it. And I was like, oh my God, she is going to frigging fall. And, I'm not so concerned about the fall because I'm holding her. Now, you're not supposed to try to stop them because then you hurt yourself. But you make it a softer landing. And so I'm prepared for that. But I don't want to fucking call somebody and have them come out. So I thought of Derek. I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to have Derek help no matter what. So if she falls, she falls. But I was like, let's try to get you a little bit closer to the chair. So when I get her up, I leave the chair in the up position. And when things are running like they should, when she gets close enough, I'm holding the control in this hand, and I'm also holding her, and just as she shits, I was going to say, just as she sits, I start putting the chair down so she doesn't slip and fall off that chair. So I start putting the chair down, and then I cover her, and so it works when she has a little bit of strength. But last night, she wasn't able to get close enough to that chair, and she knew she was going down. I knew she was going down. So she was just about to start going, and I had the chair going so that, the feet part would come up. So she ended up on the chair, but her butt was like at the very edge of the chair, almost like between the part where the chair and the foot part is. But I raised that chair because I didn't want her going all the way down to the floor. And so now her back was almost like on the seat of the chair. Of course, she was very uncomfortable, so I put a bunch of pillows behind her back and her head. Her legs were hurting because now her knees were like where her feet would be, so they were hanging, her legs were hanging off the edge of that chair. And she has a lot of swelling in her legs, so that was painful. So I put a pillow under that, and I said, we just, stay put. I don't think she could have gotten not in that position and in that chair. And I called Derek, and he's like, hey, what's up? And I said, you're in your car. He's like, yes, I could tell. And I was like, where are you? He goes, we're just coming out of the mall. He had gone to the mall. I thought for sure they'd be home already. He did a little video at the malls. You can go check that out on his channel, Derek Michaud, although he pronounces it Michaud because we're weird like that. We don't even say our last names the same. And then, and it was snowing. And even though, Derek knows how to drive in the snow, half of Mississippi doesn't, so it's worrisome, and you have to go slow. So he said, we should be there in about 20 minutes. I was like, okay, good. And, my mother was like, I have to get up. And I was like, Ma, you just have to wait. We just have to wait. She was comfortable enough. She was just, and understandably so. She was just like completely frazzled because of all of this. And she's thinking Derek won't be able to get her up, and she was just very nerved up. But Derek came, and what I thought we were going to do is, like, he was going to help me to get her standing, and then that he was going to be able to, you know, like, lift her and hop out long until she was close enough to the chair so she could be sitting in the actual chair. But he's like, no, just, you know, put the chair so that the feet part was down, and he was right there holding her so she wouldn't slide off the edge to the floor. And when it was straight enough, he just lifted her in a sitting position and put her into the chair. That was so nice. See, this is why I need to be near my son, because I wouldn't have had that help in Maine. And with him, I can call him and have some help. You know, obviously, he's not always going to be around to help. He could have been someplace far away, and I would have had to call rescue. But in this case, it worked. He got him in the chair, and all was good. So today, I told her, you have to get up, because I told her today that I want to take you out for your birthday. We want to take you out. And that means she has to be able to stand up and get into, take some steps so she can sit in the wheelchair. I do the same thing. I get her up, she takes steps with her walker, and when we can get the chair behind her, the wheelchair, then I have her sit. And the same thing on the way back. I have her standing not far from her chair. We take the wheelchair out, and then she can go backwards with her walker and our support to get in the chair. But today, I was not able to get her on the potty. So if she does anything, it's going to be in her pants in that chair, because I just can't. And she does not want to go lay down in her bed. I hate her in her bed because she just is miserable, which makes my life miserable. And in two ways, I have to put up with it and do all the physical work, and it just makes me sad that she's miserable. So she's in her chair. I did get her to stand up 2 times. And the second time was a little bit better than the first. And I said, you know, we just need to do that, Ma, a few times a day. Just have you stand and then sit right back down. Because, you know, that helps her legs to stay usable. That was a very long and I'm sure boring story. I'm sorry. So the plans for the weekend are, it's a Saturday, and it's a Saturday that Skylar is not with her mother. So Derek is working at 10 a.m. and then he's got the whole afternoon off. So I'm going to be packing a lunch. My mother's absolute favorite thing to do when she's on a ride is to eat in the car. She likes to eat in the car. So I'm making everybody sandwiches, and except for me, I won't be having a sandwich, but I won't be eating in the car. Derek said he would like to go to Tunica. I would like for her to be able to see where Elvis lived, but you know, there's a big wall. She wouldn't be able to see, but it's kind of not a nice location anymore. I'm sure it was way back in the day, but I was just, I thought it would be cool that she would be able to tell people that she was like in front of Graceland, so we'll see. But Derek would like to go to Tunica and show her cotton fields and casinos. We just want to go for a ride, and I'm gonna try to record. I'm gonna try to record a little bit of her. I don't know. All of this could be completely, changed. We may not even go out. We may try and not be able to get her in the car. You know what I mean? We just never know. So as for her declining, she is now starting to see things. And this has been happening here and there, but it happened 3 times yesterday during the day. And I did look up a little bit about it. I'm still not concerned with dementia just because of the memory is there, and I think it has more to just do with aging and maybe her body breaking down a little bit. Her vision isn't good, and it's usually while she's coloring because she has lights down on the table, and I think it's really messing with her eyes because she'll look up and I can tell she doesn't even know where to look to see who's talking or whatever, because I just think it bothers her. And she also has not scarring, it's like whiteness on the clear of her eyes. It's not cataracts. She had cataracts removed a while back, and she doesn't have cataracts, but there's a film, and that can make it very hazy. So it's better for her if there's any brightness at all that she wears sunglasses, because it just helps that. So yesterday, what were the 3 things that stood out? And like one time, and I have people who have experienced this, not just me. So I'm not going to start believing, did she make this up? Did I make this up? One time on the phone with my sister, she was telling me that there was somebody else standing next to me or something. I can't remember exactly, but my sister heard that. And when I told my sister yesterday last night, about the 3 episodes yesterday, she was like, yeah, remember that time when I was on the phone? And she was telling you somebody else was there. So, and I did read about a man who was experiencing this, and it was... he was not afraid, but as it progressed, he started getting more afraid. I think it is an end-of-life kind of thing going on with her. Whether it's dementia or not, I don't think she's ever going to live long enough to have full-blown dementia or Alzheimer's, because some people can go years with that. I just think it's more of an end-of-life, and it could have just something to do with her vision. I don't know. But the first thing was that she was looking to try to find me. I was in front of her, and she's like, are you there, Darlene? And I'm like, yes, Mom, but I know she was just coloring. And when she looks up, it messes with her eyes, the lights and the coloring and all that. And she said, oh, there you are. She goes, but who's that next to you? And I said, that's the part I don't like, is that she doesn't say things like, oh my God, I have double vision, or I'm seeing weird things. She just says, who's that next to you? Like it would be normal for somebody to be next to me, And I was like, Ma, there's nobody next to me. She's like, yes, there's a woman right there. And I said, no, Mom, your eyes are fucked up. And I didn't say it that way, but I do swear in front of my mother. I mean, please. You think I can go all day without swearing? She's all right with all that. Anyway, so I just said, no, Mom, there's nobody here. And so she was okay. And then the next thing was, I was in my office here, and she was out there, and she goes, Darlene. I go, what? She goes, come here. She goes, somebody's here. And I'm like, who's here? She goes, right outside. She goes, there was a man with a big stick. Now, I was like, was he coming to see me? No. And I was like, well, I don't know, Ma. I said, there's nobody standing there right now. So I said, maybe somebody went by. So she was like, no, he's right there. And I said, no, there's nobody. I said, maybe you're seeing a shadow or something. I mean, I'm just trying to, whatever. And she's like, oh, okay. So she was okay with that. And then later, I was in the kitchen, and she calls me. She's like, oh, Darlene, Skylar's here. And I said, she's not here, she's in school. And she goes, no, she says she just came in. And I go to my mother, and she goes, look, she goes, she just left. She said she went and put something in the closet, and she left. And I was like, no, Skylar was not there. So I was just like, I think your eyes are just playing tricks on you again. And that's it. And then last night, but you know what? She started Tramadol. Am I saying that right? It's supposedly a little bit stronger of a pain pill than Tylenol. My mother doesn't do well on meds, but she has had some episodes of that. And she did have it in the morning, so maybe that was making her a little loopy. I don't know. She had another one of those at night, and she also had Tylenol. She has a lot of pain in her. She has arthritis and stuff like that. And she just kept me up for hours. She would be quiet for like 15, 20 minutes, and I know she's sleeping. But now this doesn't piss me off, because it's not something she's doing on purpose. I know the difference between the narcissistic behavior and my mother just being out of it a little bit. And she's, all of a sudden she'll say, Darlene. I go, what? She goes, I just want to let you know I'm getting tired. I'm getting sleepy. I think I might sleep now. I'm like, okay, Mom, you just go to sleep. I mean, she wakes up to tell me this. And then And then I could hear her fidgeting, and then she goes, what? She goes, you have to get up. I go, what? She goes, I'm falling. I said, you're not falling, Mom. You're laying back in your chair. You're not even moving. She goes, oh, no, I'm falling right now. Look, I'm falling. I'm like, just go to sleep, Mom, please. Go to sleep. So that kind of entertains me because that's the only funny stuff she does. I appreciate it. So that went on for hours. She just would not stop talking. I wish I could remember. Some of this stuff was hilarious. And my father did that too at the end of life. But this was very near him dying. So I don't know. I don't know what it all means. I'm just going with the flow. You know, she's comfortable today. She is not coloring because she says her arm hurts so much. And I said, you know, you're doing just repeated motion with that damn coloring. I'm going to go show you how many pages she's done. Now, she didn't start coloring when we first moved in, but, you know, she's colored this many pages. And I just like to see what she does. You know, she'll do colors that, you know, don't make sense. She'll be like, I think I'm just going to do this color. And I'm always like, yes. And she's very critical of it over her work. And she'll be like, I don't like that one. I want to throw that one away. And I don't let her. I'm like, no, Ma, it's beautiful. And now she started like putting little borders around the edge. I mean, there's so many. She said, this is her and my father. And then she had her hair blonde because her hair was blonde and it was too blonde, so she put another color over it. And then she complained that she didn't like the boat. And she loved this one. She said, this is my favorite one today. Sometimes she will color 5 or 6 pages in one day. Some days it'll be a little bit more complicated and she'll do just one. And I'm just going to show you some of these. I'm very glad that she has something she can do, and then she'll color so much that she actually makes holes in the paper. I don't know if you can see. Where are you? Somewhere there's a hole. Oh yeah, see my thumb in this pink flower right here? I'll stick my tooth thingy in it. I can't even see that. There it is. And one time she had me put a piece of paper behind it and tape it, and so she could color and fix it. But I don't know. Right now she has a lot of Easter. Oh, she loved this. I'm like, you want to color a quilt? So she thought that was cool. So many. And I told her that one day I could cut these and turn them into paper beads. Oh, here's one that she worked hard on. So this is how she spends her days, but she hasn't colored today. I mean, I could go on and on, but I don't think you want to see all of these. So we're just going to go with the flow. I'm hoping that we can take her out for her birthday. I think that would be nice. That must be my sister. Hang on. Okay, she's talking to my mother. I mean, she's talking to my sister now, and I think I've talked enough. Don't you? And I woke her up. She was sleeping, but I woke her up because she's been sleeping a little bit, and I want her to talk with my sister. So that's it. I'm going to sign off, and fingers crossed that I can get her out on her birthday, her 99th birthday, and that that I could record a little tiny bit. I would love to full-on interview her, or I should have Derek do it, but I know she'd be so uncomfortable with that, but maybe not. Maybe her brain is changing now. Maybe she'd be all into it. But if I can at least, you know, get her to say hi on camera, maybe we'll do that. And, you know, we're not celebrating with gifts or all kinds of things because, you know, it's just, we just want to take her for a ride. That's the gift. Let's get her out of the house. Although I would like to get her an alarm clock that is constantly lit, because she has to push a button and she's forever turning the alarm on. So, and it's hard. She has no strength anymore to even push down on that. That's sad. But look, she still can see enough to color, and she has people to talk to, and, you know, she's got a nice place to live, even though it's not always the best mood around here. But, you know, she has it good, I think. I don't think she will ever realize how lucky she is that she has anyone willing to take care of her. She's a tough cookie. But we do. We take care of her, and the best thing that I ever did was get closer to Derek, just to have that support. It doesn't have to, you know, be with me all the time, but I know he's there, and he was able to help, and that makes me feel not as, you know, nervous about things. And, you know, even when the mood gets rough, I have him I can talk to, and he understands it, and he validates everything. You know, it's like, it's a good thing. I love my son and my granddaughter. I'm very happy to be near them. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.